If you're waiting for someone to come fix things, let me tell you straight. They're not coming. The people who broke this world are still in charge of it, and they're not in a rush to hand it over to you. This isn't just about fewer babies or bad weather. It's broken food, dirty air, stress you can feel in your bones, and systems that were never built for us in the first place. You're not just students anymore. You're the cleanup crew. You're the rebuilders. But here's the good news. You don't have to wait for a fancy lab or a foreign donor to get started. Pick one thing around you that's broken. It could be a leaking toilet, or kids dropping out of school, or your family not being able to afford food. That's where your mission starts. Don't get stuck thinking you need 1,000,000 shillings or some AI chatbot to begin. Use what you have. Use what's around you. Ask questions no one's asking. That's how real inventors think. Talk to others. Build small teams. Try something. Break it, try again. This is how you build a future that doesn't collapse the same way the old one did. Don't waste time copying failed systems. And don't envy countries that are shrinking under their own weight. They poisoned their food, destroyed their families, and now they're panicking as the earth turns against them. But here, in Africa, in the Caribbean, in Asia, there's still life. Still hands that can build. Still land that can grow. Still minds that aren't completely distracted. That's your advantage. Don't give it up. So forget waiting for the right time. Start where you stand, right here, right now. In your house, on your farm, behind your school. You were born into the breakdown, but that just means you were born with the tools to fix it. Let them build walls. Let them hoard what's dying. You build what's coming next.
In many of the world's richest countries, like Japan, South Korea, China, Canada, Europe, and the United States, something surprising is happening. Their populations are shrinking. Fewer babies are being born. More people are growing old and dying. These countries are rich, but many people feel poor, tired, and even sick. They say, "I can't afford to have kids." Why? Because homes are too expensive. Childcare costs too much. Jobs don't give enough time off. Some don't want to get married. Others say it's just too expensive to raise a child, from diapers to school fees. The money is there, but it's locked at the top among a very tiny ultra-rich minority of individuals and businesses. Even food, water, and medicine often make people sicker, not better. People are stressed, poisoned, and losing hope in the future. Some can't even have children anymore. They are rich, but they are slowly dying. In some countries, people aren't just choosing not to have kids. They can't. Polluted air. Toxic water. Plastic in food. Chemicals in medicine. These things can quietly harm people's bodies, even making it harder to have children. Sperm counts are dropping. Fertility is falling. Even people who want families are struggling. Not because they waited too long, but because the world around them has become sick. With fewer children, schools close. There aren't enough workers. Not enough people to take care of the elderly. A country shrinks, not from war, but from quiet decisions made every day. Some people from other countries want to help, to live, work, and raise families. But many rich countries say no. And it's not just about fear. It's about tribalism, racism, greed, and selfishness. In places like Japan, Korea, United States, and parts of Europe, there's resistance to accepting large numbers of immigrants or fully integrating them into society. This limits the ability to bring in younger, working-age people from other regions who could balance the aging population and contribute economically. The global North needs energy, youth, creativity, and labor, all things the global South can offer, but its own fears and biases are keeping it trapped. Tribalism means only trusting people like you. Racism means treating people unfairly because of how they look. Greed is keeping everything for yourself. Selfishness is staying quiet when others are hurting. Many rich countries became powerful by taking from the global South land, labor, minerals, and people. They became rich by making others poor. Now, those same people ask to share in the future, and are turned away. Black and brown people from the global South are being deported, even when they've worked hard and followed the rules. But many white South Africans, who benefited from apartheid, welcomed. They lost the land they took from Africans, but were not punished. They didn't bring fairness. They brought whiteness, and that was enough. In nature, when a species poisons its own home, it disappears. Some wealthy countries are poisoning their food, their people, and the planet. They've built massive armies and industries to protect their wealth, even trying to control the weather itself. But trying to fight nature always backfires. And now the storms are stronger, the heat more deadly, the skies less kind. This isn't just a population problem. It's a global pattern of destruction, caused by a mindset that sees domination as progress. If it's not corrected, it won't just destroy the guilty, it will carry the innocent too. That's not just a failed system. That's a failed species in the making. In nature, when a species stops growing and refuses to adapt, it disappears. Biologists call this a failed species. It didn't change when it needed to because fear overcomes fairness. But people can make better choices. We can support families. We can welcome others. We can build something fairer, if we stop trying to rule and start trying to live together. Some people would rather build walls than share. They stay silent while others suffer. They enjoy privilege while pretending injustice isn't real. But no society survives on silence and greed. Not even America. If we refuse to grow, change, or welcome others, we won't just shrink. We will vanish. That's not a threat. That's what nature, and history, always shows. So the choice isn't about tomorrow. It's about who we are today. Africa is growing. Families are strong. The land still gives life. The people still believe in tomorrow. While others shrink, Africa rises. Not because of machines, but because of values. And that simple fact terrifies the global North. The global north has tried to bend nature to its will, and now it is breaking under that pressure. Floods, fires, food collapse, isolation, infertility, and fear. But evolution doesn't wait for the powerful. It rewards those who adapt, share, and care. The question is no longer what we've built. It's whether we are still wise enough to survive it, evolve with the earth, or be erased by it.
At Tharaka Invention Academy, an online school led by Professor Singer and serving students around the world, we believe a better world is not just a dream. It's already starting. But to help shape that world, we need to move from simply following others to leading ourselves. For many years, people in the global south have been taught to follow rules made by others. Today, we begin a new path. In many of the world's richest countries, something surprising is happening. Their populations are shrinking. People are having fewer children, not because they want to, but because life has become too hard. The air is polluted. Food and water make people sick. Even medicine can do more harm than good. These societies are shrinking not from war, but from stress, fear, and systems that no longer work. Even though they are rich, many people there feel poor. They are tired, stressed, and afraid of the future. Some can't have children anymore, not by choice, but because their bodies and environments have been damaged. These same countries once took land, labor, and resources from the global south. But now, when people from Africa, Asia, and Latin America ask to be part of the future, they are told no. So our first step is to look carefully at the systems we've been following. We need to ask who built these systems and why. Things like economic scores and world rankings often measure money and not what really matters in our lives. So what should we measure? Real value comes from having food, energy, and power in the hands of the people. It comes from building strong, local communities. Next, we build our own systems. We don't need to wait for others to approve us. We can build what we need in energy, learning, and technology. These ideas are not dreams. They are already being built. We call them sovereign stacks, tools and systems made by and for our people. But this is not just about tools. It's about believing in ourselves. Our ancestors were not less smart. They just didn't have systems that respected their knowledge. Now, we build that respect. Step 4. We stop asking for permission. We don't need to sit at someone else's table. We build our own. We work together with others like us. Not with empires, but with friends. That is our future.